Hey everybody, welcome to Hear Us Out. I am Patrick.
And I'm Paul.
And,
How's it going?
and we are Hear Us Out, and we'd love you to drop a little comment in there. We see we've already got some viewers, so if somebody can drop a little comment in there to say that you can see and hear us, that'd be great. Because things are looking a little bit funny on my side. So hopefully, Paul, even if you can just confirm that we're going out live, that'd be great. So what are we doing tonight, folks? While Paul checks that out, I will tell you that we are surprising each other as much as we can with movie or entertainment dilemmas. So brain teasers, conundrums. You choose your synonym for something that'll make you scratch your head. But the twist is we're only going to give each other 60 seconds to think it out loud, to talk it out, and then give an answer. We can definitely still talk afterwards, but you got to get your reasoning and stuff in there. Otherwise, the first question would be asked, and both Paul and I would do an entire episode about it. So this is not any sort of gimmick. It's actually just controlling ourselves. So Paul, is the stream live?
It is, yes, it is
Good,
live.
good. Well, then on that brilliant note, everybody out there, by the way, we have questions lined up. Please submit them in the live chat. You can even tweet us if one of us happens to hear our phone buzz. Maybe we'll check it. But stick it in the live chat, and we'll move to your question straight away in between our own. So, Paul, I'm going to explain to people by showing what I mean. First one up. I've just thrown up the first sample question, which I think I mentioned in one of the tweets. You're in the next Star Wars. What color lightsaber do you choose? So, if you had asked me that, I'd be like, oh, do you go for one of the classics? Do you want to be like, oh, blue, cool, classic Luke? I'm a bit more partial to the green because that's, cool Jedi Luke. But then, like Darth and his red one, Or do you just want to be brand new and pick your own color? How would you sound it out in your head, and then when the buzzer hits, pick your color?
Yeah.
So what color would you end up going for? Just as a matter of interest.
I'd probably so if we're going through the kind of thought, I'd be just like, do I want to be evil or good? Because that ranges difference, kind of thing. I'm gonna go evil, and then I get to choose between essentially like black, reds, like dark green, purple, maybe. Like just like I could go like a darker green and just be like, or gray. Gray could be a
gray would actually be kind of cool. Like instead of white, it's a dirty white. Like maybe one day you wear good, but now you've turned a bit cruddy. Sam Jackson has a purple one, I believe. He asked for saber to be purple. Yeah, but take Sam Jackson. It's always got to say bad motherfucker on the side of it somewhere, doesn't it? Fair play to him. I think I'd go with you, although a huge part of me would be like, green, I want green. Because green was the one that I was like, yeah, that just looked cool.
Like green's a classic, so.
Yeah. Also, Irish, what can you do? Conditioned to answer that. Another little example for those of you out there who are listening and seeing. Paul, you forgive me for this. You have to kill one of the characters in Friends. Who do you kill? Go. So, Ross, Phoebe, Chandler, Joey, Monica.
I really kind of want to, like, yeah.
Who am I missing there?
I don't know. I kind of want to kill
Rachel.
Like, I don't want to kill Chandler. I love Chandler. Chandler's great. I don't want to kill Joey because I also like Joey.
Yeah.
Phoebe's fantastic.
We all know that it's going to come down to Ross and Monica, possibly.
See, this is the thing. Monica was actually the. See, the thing is that the next one is actually I had a weird crush on Monica, and like Rachel's. I'd say it's probably Ross.
Yeah,
it's gonna be Ross.
That's why that was one of the sample questions, folks. Everybody's going to pick Ross, even though we all love David Schwimmer. We don't all love Ross. So there's David Schwimmer, if you're watching, know that we all do love you as a person and as an actor. And you did a great job portraying a character that would be the first one we would kill in your TV show.
Which I think holds detriment to his acting abilities, because he was like an annoying character. So
exactly. So, Paul, would you like me to go first and hit you with it? And this time the countdown clock is going to show up. I will tell you when you've got 10 seconds to go. So you just keep talking.
Okay.
I will I will ask the question before starting the clock.
All right. Here we go.
And I'm hovering over my clock button. So, Best name for an action hero that hasn't been used yet. So you get to come up with a brand new action hero and give them a name. What do you do?
Can I ask supplemental questions
You can,
as
but
well?
you've got 57,
I
56
understand.
seconds.
Is it specifically like Die Hard Rambo kind of skill?
Sure. Whatever way you define action hero in
Like-
your head.
Okay. Okay.
Like, would you call them
I'm
Paul?
gonna say-
Would you be like, my name has to be their first
No,
name?
my name does not in any way lead to it. I'm gonna say Kane. I know that's usually a bad guy's name, but Kane.
You've just made me think of one. Kane
I'm gonna say
Justice?
Kane. I was gonna say Kane Stone or something like that. You know.
That's classic. And you know what? There's 18 seconds left. I don't think you're coming up with something better. That is truly awesome.
Yeah, I think Kane is a good strong word. I know that name, and I think Stone is also one of those names that's also very good as a second name, obviously not a first name. Stone makes you sound like a fucking moron. I mean, a moron. Bleep.
It's all right. I already Sam Jacksoned it with my my mother effer. I got in there first this time. Hey, I would say if I had to come up with a partner for Kane Stone. Oh yeah, that's quite action hero. I think you want somebody who's slightly different. Snake Hips McGinty. Snake Hips McGinty is the fun, wisecracking, great dancer. You know, the real name isn't Snake Hips McGinty. It's McGinty. It could be Paul McGinty if you like. But they got the name Snake Hips that time down in Havana when they danced their way out of trouble. And they hang out with Kane Stoneman.
Like they always, they constantly refer to like every time they like are in the middle of combat, just like Widow and Hawkeye, they refer to other times when they were in similar situations.
Yeah.
And it's like, remember that time in the Bahamas?
Yeah.
Yeah, but where were we going to find an umbrella? You know?
And also, Barry Manilow isn't here. How's he going to help this time?
In the comments, we got Kurt Dickinson.
Kurt Dickinson, I like that actually. Kurt's a really good first action hero name as well. Yeah,
Kurt is, but it constantly reminds me of Kurt Douglas. I don't know why.
True. Actually, if Kurt Douglas didn't exist, Kurt Douglas would be a great action hero name.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is, if you think just if you think of like most male like leading stars, lots of their names would also be really good. Like Brad Pitt would be a fairly good like. Actually, sorry, but it's an actor's name, so it can't be. I think that's why they choose them as well.
I think Mel Gibson, Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis, all those classics. Sylvester Stallone, Matt Damon. Hey, Matt Damon. All those names would work as either a bad guy or an act. They'd make great protagonists or antagonists, and I think that's why they pick those stage names. Or in some other cases, we're lucky enough to be perfectly named. Actually, there's a show I just thought of that we should do, and I shouldn't say this in front of everybody else. Hi, everybody else. Me and Paul doing some show notes. We should actually look into who's changed their name and why. I think there's some interesting stuff there.
There probably is.
So, Paul, which one of your questions do you want me to pull up for you now? Paul sent these to me,
first.
and I loaded them in. I had to load them in the end, Paul, because when you sent them to me, they rendered, so I already got a quick scan, so I just dropped them in and promised not to read them further.
No, you're fine.
So
I'm going to go for the first one. Yeah, because I think the first one's really good and also very topical at this moment.
Okay, well, the first one is, and by the time I finish reading it, I'm going to click go on the clock. You're writing the next Marvel What If. Oh, you're writing the next Marvel What If. What? Oh, what's the plot you pick? Okay, 60 seconds, 59. I am a big fan of the whole, what if Captain America happened to be, not Steve Rogers, but was actually Peggy Carter. I love that idea. And you couldn't really you're not going to swap somebody into Tony Stark, especially one of the female characters, without somebody noticing what a massive misogynist Tony Stark was before he became enlightened, and maybe still is afterwards. This has become a hit piece on Tony Stark. What would I do? I would say, I would swap the Guardians of the Galaxy, the whole lot of them out. I'd be like, what would happen if the Guardians of the Galaxy were made up of people from Nova Corps and all the rest? If you took the other out there characters and did a Guardians of the Galaxy, because you've got enough characters there that could do it.
So like Nova Corps, maybe an Asgardian.
Exactly.
Like, okay, cool, okay.
Yeah.
So what would you call your what if it had a name?
Oh God.
Just as a substitute thing.
Now I really do wish I'd just gone for swapping in Black Widow for Stark. Because that's what I was gonna say. Guardians of
Because
the
like it
Universe.
doesn't.
I'd call it Guardians of the
Yeah, like it
Universe.
does.
There you go.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be clever. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not asking
Protectors of the
for like
Universe. Which is
protectors is also could be a very good.
there you go. That was a really good question. So I've got to ask, what would your swappo be for, or your plot for What If?
Oh, see, that's the thing. I would probably like. There's some really good ones out there, and I've seen the trailer, and they're like a lot of them. I'm just like, man, you got there before me, kind of thing. Yeah, I thought. Oh,
That's the thing about these questions. I didn't actually think of answers for the ones I've got for you either, and I've just realized when you turn the tables on me, I'm in a lot of trouble.
I think mine would probably be what if Bucky. Because I know that there's a Peggy Carter one that's out there and coming, but it's what if Bucky was the one who got chosen for the
So if he
like
hadn't,
if
if he hadn't gone to war and was the super soldier instead of Steve
no,
Rogers.
it's yeah, no, as in like let's say Steve Rogers did get in as he is, and Bucky did as well, but Bucky was chosen for the super soldier program, and Rogers was like as in a switch of like
And
Rogers becoming Winter Soldier and Bucky becoming Captain
the
America.
great thing about that would be Rogers would become Winter Soldier with a really skinny metal hand, metal arm.
See, this yeah, because I do think that your man, the geneticist, did something to win, like to Bucky.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
'Cause
he,
there's
he
yeah,
gave him the super serum go-go juice to give him a wee bit of heft, but he was no shrinking violet beforehand.
no, he wasn't.
So yeah, that's a great one. Can I use your answer instead? Okay. Um,
Hey, I like the Guardians of the Galaxy being changed up from the other people in the universe. That's a pretty good
well,
one.
yeah, except I didn't have time to think of actually who. I've learned. I'm making it easier on myself when I come up with a grand idea, knowing there's only 30 seconds to flesh it out.
So
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you now with a really
okay,
easy one. Everybody who can see this on screen before I tell Paul. Soundtrack made entirely of, and that should say of, not entirely on. Well, okay. So you've got to choose an entire soundtrack made bagpipes or panpipes. Panpipes is like the pan flute thing. So
yeah.
if you have to sit through a movie where they've only used one instrument to make the entire soundtrack, would you be like, oh god, bagpipes or panpipes? Which would you like more or hate least?
Okay,
Timer.
okay,
Oh, you got bonus time.
okay,
Damn you.
okay. So my initial thing is probably bagpipes. But I also would like it depend if, like my full answer would be like what type of film,
Okay.
you know?
What's your
'Cause if
favorite?
it was
What's
like
your favorite movie genre? Actually, no. I'm going to just say it. Action comedy. Action comedy. Do you want bagpipes or panpipes?
action comedy, ooh, yeah, bagpipes would be good. That like if I like Inception, like the Inception and like Shutter Islands and stuff like that, bagpipes. If it was like I don't know, Downton Abbey movie or
Lord of the
something
Rings could
along
work
those.
with
Lord of the Rings could use panpipes,
yeah,
yeah, like
because there's a
something,
lot of forest
some,
there already.
yeah, more folky kind of like if there's a little bit of fantasy and folky, I probably unless it like weirdly enough, unless it deals with like dwarves, I'd be just like panpipes all the way.
Well,
But
you're not in the room with me. When you and I used to record in the same room, you would notice when I started miming. I've now got a mime for panpipes, and
yeah,
it's
well
this,
done.
which is also very very mildly excited Muppet because this is excited Muppet. So this is just yeah, I'm up for it.
You could also do harmonica with that one as well if you
That's true.
wanted to. You could also easing corn.
Well, and you know what? Harmonica would be preferable to both bagpipes and panpipes for me. I would also choose bagpipes, Paul, because I once saw, yes, before anybody gives out, I went to see Korn because, yeah, I like new metal, but I like all genres of music. And at the end of the show, out he came playing bagpipes. So I got some nice metal bagpipe action going on. I'm like, bagpipes can work. Not that they're terrible instruments. So all you pipers out there, hit like, subscribe, and share with your other piper friends. None of you panpipe people though. You creep me out. Number 2, is it, Paul?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Do you want me to read it out?
Oh yeah, if you can, that'll help me find the other button. Okay.
Okay. So, what director would you pick to make the movie of your life?
And the clock starts now. This is an easy one. I would want to pick Aaron Sorkin, obviously enough, because then he would be involved in the writing of it. But that's a bit of a cheat, because he's not a brilliant director. He's a brilliant writer. So I think Christopher Nolan is the very, very obvious answer. The very obvious answer. But I'm going to choose George Lucas. And I'm going to choose George Lucas to be weird. Because if you imagine your own life, there's something a little bit up your own butt about saying, I'd like Chris Nolan to make my life seem exciting and dramatic. I want, George Lucas in full Phantom Menace guise to go, yeah, his life was, you know what, it wasn't great, but here's some stuff happening on screen. Because I would hate somebody to make my life look more exciting than it is, because then it'd be a lie.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So good old George Lucas. But I think if whatever I pick you can't pick, then it's Del Toro. Just so you can't pick him.
Wouldn't have Del Toro do my life. I would have either Steven Spielberg or Tom Hanks.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think they would do the homeliness because they've done like Super 8 and stuff like that, which is real. Like I know J.J. Abrams did a lot, like, but it's kind of based on a lot of Stephen King kind of like love the story stuff, like movie stuff. So like actually J.J. Abrams would also be a good one as well. But yeah, how they kind of do homely and like nice kind of like back in the day stuff. So like I think they'd be good kind of.
I think if I wanted, you know what? Actually, his directorial debut, Bo Burnham, he did such a good job with 8th grade or 9th grade. 8th, I think it was, that I think he could probably capture an awful lot of how I felt for the whole first half of my life. So yeah, maybe Bo Burnham. He's only done one, so maybe he's due to step up and take on a real difficult subject like my boring ass life.
Patrick's life.
Yeah. What would you call? Actually, we should not answer for ourselves. What would you call? Side question, bonus round. What would you call the story of my life? As far as
of your life,
yeah, for what you know, and have as much fun with it as you want.
Fast and the Furious 10.
Because I'd just call yours Event Horizon. There's no other choice.
Just do Fast and Furious 10, like just before they announced their one, but have it as the subtext or the subtitle, so it's like Patrick's like life story of Patrick. Fast and Furious 10. It just so like every time people look up Fast and Furious 10, they also get your life story, and they go, "What is?"
There'd be a load of people torrenting the wrong movie, and that would be great.
It'd be so good. You would possibly be one of the most hated people by a genre of people that like very little cares about.
Possibly already am by the Fast and Furious fans, because I love cars and I have some issues with Fast and Furious. But I've been hard on it, but I've also been kind about it. I'm going to throw up the next one to keep us jigging along, because I'm dying to know your answer to this. And I better get down to my clock. Okay. You get to name a new movie studio. What do you call it? So there's a brand new movie studio. You're just being hired for one thing, to give it a name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Gears and Spears Productions, or Gears and Spears Studios.
Gears and Spears. I like that. It sounds like you've already named that something. Did you have like two fish called Gears and Spears or anything?
No, it's like if I was to set up a studio or a production house, I'd probably call it Gears and Spears,
I like it. Should I ask?
If I've done it? No.
Well, no, and I just realised I didn't hit the countdown, but we're at about a minute now. Somebody remind me to hit the countdown. Oh, there's nobody else here. It's COVID. Yeah, is there a backstory to Gears and Spears, or do you just like the alliteration?
I like to play them. I like to play on words, and then I've also thought of like it's like the how like they all have like Paramount has the the Stars with the Mountain
Mm.
and all that kind of stuff. It's literally just gears like rolling, and then suddenly a bunch of spears come and just stick in it, and then it just goes Gears and Spears Productions or Gears and Spears
Nice.
Studios. I've thought of that so much. I have probably like 20,000 different names for a studio or production house just because I've been just like, when it,
Yeah.
I can dream.
Well,
A
it's
girl
weird that
can
we know each
dream.
other quite well, and I made that question up knowing I'd be asking you. So yeah, that's a
Here is a production.
yeah, yeah. Can't be done. Can't be done. I didn't
And
give
what
my
would you
answer.
call?
I was about to say
Yeah,
I didn't give my answer, and I don't have one. I don't know. I would probably call it says things like Phoenix and all the rest are a bit played out. Um, I always thought that Searchlight was a great name, and so it's like working
Searchlights
title and things like that. So I'd probably go for
script
On the Edge.
script doctor would on the edge,
On the Edge,
on the edge.
because you would hope that whatever they'd be making would be at least original, and probably on the edge of going bankrupt would be the other headlines I could see.
On the edge is on the edge.
Yeah,
Um,
on the edge.
yeah,
Dot
that's
dot
also
dot of bankruptcy.
because isn't there is an original there is original productions or something like that, original studio.
I think there is. Yeah,
Um, that's a hard name to live up to, isn't it?
it really is. Well, it really is. It's like where it's Plan B and things like that, or working title, or whatever your kind of your self-deprecating name is. I think that's safe. Or if you're going to go with Universal, whatever it might be, one of the big established names, Warner Brothers, name it after yourself. But if you're like Fantastic Pictures, you're screwing yourself. Don't do that,
Yeah,
guys. Don't do that.
Galactic Movies,
Best movie studio ever. .com. That's what I'd call it.
Studio McStudio face.
Filmy McProduction face.
Yeah.
I've thrown up your third pick, and I'm going to remember to hit the clock now. Would you
Okay.
read it for me?
Yeah, of course. And what superpower would you pick for your co-host?
Ooh.
So this would
What,
be
what would I choose for you?
yeah.
I think I would probably choose. See, and I'm not just going to choose what I think you'd want.
Yeah, see that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'd probably choose Flight for you, to be
Ooh,
honest.
okay.
I know it's a classic, but
It is a classic.
just that it's that perspective on the world you have. I think you being able to kind of go, and now I'm going to get another one, and just be like, like I can see you making real use of Flight, not showing off, and being like, I'm going to see things or do things, or I'm going to go get things. It's like you would be flying around. Getting balls out of trees for kids and stuff, but also you'd be like, what would be a really good picture right now from up there. So yeah, like that super strength. Maybe I think you dig super strength more than Flight possibly, but I'm not giving you any mental powers because
Don't ever give.
yeah, if you can control or move stuff or read my mind or control my mind, that would not really work in our co-host relationship. So you were only ever getting invisibility, flight, super strength, or invulnerability. And I do want you to die someday because I think it's unnatural and invulnerability is too close to a curse.
Wow. Okay.
Well, think about it.
I guess I'm going to. If I die, it wasn't suicide.
Damn it, evidence, YouTube. Okay, so
Um,
what would you pick for me? It's got to go back the other way.
See, that's the thing. I would actually choose. I would choose a cool one that I thought you'd really
Oh,
like. I would choose time travel for you because I thought it would just be. It's just an excellent like. No matter what, it's an excellent classic like
yeah,
power. But I definitely think that you would appreciate it a lot more than any because I
yeah.
feel like you would also screw like not to be you would screw it up and then spend your rest of your life unscrewing it up,
I
which I think
would
is like which I
love
think
to fix it.
is just the right like that's how a time travel should live their life,
Mm.
trying to fix that one mistake,
And
and just
that's
getting stuck there. And
That's
I think
really
you'd
nice of
be
you to think of me that way. And you know what? Of all the superpowers that I would ever want, it's the one I would choose. So wow.
yeah, see, yeah, I think because I think you because you would also be very smart and you probably for the first like year and a half of like regular time you've used it in very cool and very good ways. But I think you get bored, and then you'd get stuck in that whole traditional time travel loop thing where you're just like, I gotta fix that one mistake,
Ambition
you
would
know.
be
And
my
then it turns
downfall.
out, that if you just stopped yourself from becoming a time traveler, you would fix the whole thing. But you don't want to do that, you
Well,
know.
I would be going back and finding new and interesting ways to get people to like, subscribe, and share our videos, and to comment down below if you're watching this as a recording. But Paul, you've got to now tell me, because I didn't give you a chance. What would you choose for yourself if you had a choice?
Oh,
What would be your preference?
I think it's like the one that I have always wanted is probably the super intelligence one. It's not really a superpower, but it's essentially, I think it's pretty much a catch-all, because like you could just pretty much then build or give yourself, if you're smart enough, you can just give yourself the abilities, of the other ones. So
You
it's a
can
kind of a
you can
cop
Iron
out.
Man your way out of this. That's where you get the
Yeah,
fight, etc.
yeah,
Yeah, and
kind of thing.
even time travel thanks to Endgame. But yeah, I think, to be honest with you, that's not a superpower. That's just something that takes a lifetime of dedication and needing to start way before now. But you're plenty smart as it is, so you're not far off your superpower. Whereas I have
So
yet to turn a clock back. I
you
have stared at the
spent a lot.
future.
What would you, so would you choose? You would choose time travel for yourself? Is there another one that you
I
would choose?
I would. I think from a messing around point of view, I've always thought super speed would be kind of fun, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just because it's sort of like teleportation, but without the creepiness, because you have to be able to see where you're going. Teleportation, I think, just turns into a little bit. It's like invisibility. Everybody instantly assumes you wanted it because you're a perv.
Yeah, I get that. I could.
You know,
Yeah, I can understand
there's a
that.
stigma with some superpowers. People feel
There
sorry
is.
for the Invisible Man because everybody assumes he's a bit dirty.
Yeah, but that Kevin Bacon film did not really help that.
No,
I'm gonna go to
please do.
the comments, which goes, we got Lotto Win Productions for your studio name, or for this production name,
That's very good.
which goes, MJ is also back. On Hey MJ,
Ethan,
he
yeah.
says,
Hello, humans.
time travel would be weird. You could save millions or get millions killed. So
That's true.
lot of responsibility
It's
there.
funny when you put it like that. The dark side of me came out going, I could save millions, or I could kill millions. It's whoa! Don't give me any superpowers. There is a red lightsaber at the core of me right now. um, thank you very much for joining in there. Good to see you again, Ethan. I'm hoping that our next questions, because as we go down our questions, I don't know if they're going to get harder or easier. So, Paul, I'm going to throw you my next one in, and I will read it out. And remember to turn on the countdown, and even look over at it occasionally this time. Um, what two actors' careers would you or could you swap without ruining their movies? So that needs a little bit of explanation, but you can take two existing actors, you can swap them over. Who would you choose to not ruin their entire bodies of work?
Oh, that's interesting because, funny enough, I immediately have John Krasinski and Chris Evans.
That's interesting. Could Chris
You know,
Evans have done The Office though? Yeah,
yeah,
he could.
I think younger Chris Evans could, because he was in like Not Another Teen Movie and stuff like that. So like he did start his career quite early on with the whole kind of like teen movie stuff, comedy. We both love him in Losers as well.
Yeah.
So he like has a good
Oh, he's got
like comedy chop. So like I think he could do The Office. Like not saying that John Krasinski's like in any way is could be replaced easily enough, but if there's two people I could see changing a little bit, I could see Chris Evans and John Krasinski maybe changing over a little bit.
Took way too easy
kind
for
of
you.
thing.
You got 15 seconds left, and you've already given a better answer than I would have come up with in 2 weeks.
See, the only because like I would love to see John Krasinski, because I think the reason I could do that is because John Krasinski tried to become or went for Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of made it a little bit easier for me, because like I think because Chris Evans as Jack Jack Ryan, and in like the series, the Amazon series, and also in like Quiet Place, I think Chris Evans could still do it.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
I'm not saying they're interchangeable. I do
No.
think that there's a little magic with each of them on their own sides. So
Damn it, I hate you for your good answers sometimes. You know that? This was supposed to be like you fumbling for stuff and stretching, going, oh, that's a good one. But by the time I finished the question, you had the first name fully out. You're too good at this, man.
Well, so who would you choose?
I see. That's the thing. I couldn't actually come up with a good one. Part of my brain just kept shouting, Michael J. Fox and Jason Bateman would be interesting. Michael J. Fox and Jason Bateman would be interesting because they both have, they both have an old connection of being Teen Wolves separately and consecutively. Michael J. Fox worked with Jason Bateman's sister. I know it's all very 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon here, but at a time in their career, if they had taken each other's movies, I think you might find that Jason Bateman wouldn't be the deadpan Jason Bateman that everybody associates him with today. And Michael J. Fox maybe might be more of... I think the two of them actually could do each other's roles for the most part. They'd be slightly different, but I don't think the movies would be ruined,
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Anybody in the comments want to tell me I'm crazy on that one, because I know Paul was right with his. Because I 100% endorse Paul's answer and distance myself from my own.
So yeah, Chess, who do you think to like answer the same question? Like, who two actors would you be able to swap and their careers wouldn't be too much affected?
Yeah,
like because I can't think because I couldn't think like Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. They didn't like because like you got like so many like even Brad Pitt's ones are like I couldn't see Tom Cruise in like 12 Monkeys. No. You're being like absolutely mental kind of thing. Even so like there's several. And I couldn't see Brad Pitt in like Edge of Tomorrow.
I can't see Tom Cruise swapping out with anybody really. I often wonder, Nathan Fillion at a different time in his life, could you have swapped him out with Harrison Ford if they were the same age? Could Nathan Fillion have been Harrison Ford? And I am well out there, internet. Do not kill me for the heresy that I've just unleashed. I'm going to stop thinking. And what was your next number question? It's 4, is it? Save me.
Yeah. So, my next question is, what movie would you change to a TV series and vice versa?
Okay, sorry, I forgot to click that. So, what movie would you change to? What movie would you? Here's another one of these. Okay, start the clock. So TV series and movie is the one I'll do first. It's easy. Lost. I think Lost, now that we watched through it all and built up the intrigue, knowing that they didn't really have a handle on it, if they'd had to write one whole movie, it probably would have been better. And if they'd had to write a series of movies, like 3 of them, then they would have actually had to think where the third one was going to go. So Lost, even though I enjoyed the show until it jumped up its own thing. Now, TV series or movie as a TV series. Oh, we came up with this recently, actually. We had this conversation. I can't remember what I was saying would have made a great series. The Charlize Theron was in it. We watched it on Netflix in the last 4 months.
The Old Guard.
The Old Guard. I think The Old Guard could have made a great TV series. Imagine 9 to 12 solid Netflix episodes. Let everything breathe a little bit more. I think it could.
That's very true. Yeah, you give you a little bit more room to kind of explore the characters and stuff like that. Yeah, that's actually good. That's a really good answer.
The best thing about having the countdown timer off to that side, and I'm looking over here, I've completely probably blown over it multiple times and not given out to myself.
No, like you've been fine. Like you answered both questions.
So what have you got for me? What's your devious swaps?
So movie to TV, I would do Ready Player One.
That was the movie that we were talking about, I think, actually. Yeah. That's it.
We wanted to turn this into a trilogy because, like, if you haven't read the book and seen the movie, there's 3 keys, which would have been a perfect ending to each of the movies, kind of thing. Except for the third one. The third one would be, I
think it's a solid 6 to 9 episode TV series as well. Yeah, I think it could have done with the breathing space. Absolutely, best answer.
See, this the thing is, I think it could be multiple series. I think you could have each of I think it could be at least a 3 series like show. At the end of each series they find the key, and then at the last series
I have Ready Player 2 and I haven't started reading it yet. Got it at Christmas. Let's see, maybe the second book will be as good as the first, and if they make a second movie it'll actually be good, unlike the first. So TV series to movie.
That's the one that I'm struggling on because I could easily bow out and say the Dune series, which is just it's a BBC, or is it a BBC? It's like a 2-part special TV series. Yeah, I know, I
I'm
know.
gonna consult with the judges. Yeah, they all say hell no to that. You
Yeah, I
cheater.
know, I know. Yeah, so I'm gonna think. Ooh, Supernatural could have been a good one.
Oh,
Like
because that had like eight
Supernatural could have been.
seasons too. So you're thinking
Yeah,
make a
but
movie and then have a few sequels, and you'd cover the good stuff.
yeah, I think so. I think you cover like I love Sam and Dean. I love the Supernatural series and stuff like that. But like, it could have been it could have been a really good movie kind of thing as well. A
Well, I've
little
never
bit of a
seen the
cop out.
show, but I know that they now should have featured in one of the earlier answers of Great Name for an Action Hero. Because you told me that their names are Sam and Dean Winchester, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, they're named after the gun. No, they're not
Sam
named
and
after the
Dean
gun, but they're like the gun.
Winchester. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, they're pretty good kind of action hero names too. I'm Dean
they are.
Winchester. Okay, if the building is there, when it explodes, we expect to see you jumping off the top of it. Very nice. That's a great
Um,
question, Paul. Let's go to
so
the chat.
which goes, yeah. So MJ says Tom Cruise and Bruce Willis would be a perfect swap. Would they? They'd be good, but could you see like Bruce Willis in some of Tom Cruise's? Or could you see him in Top Gun?
You know, I can't. Weirdly, I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna. That's a really interesting one. And you know, this is all
It's
personal taste, so I'm not arguing with it out there, Ethan. I'm more kind of going for me. You can't really swap anybody in for Tom Cruise, not because he's brilliant. It's just because yeah, his movies have to kind of be built around who he is a little bit.
I
Same thing with
think
Bruce Willis.
like I think you could do it by movie basis.
Hmm,
With
possibly.
Tom Cruise and Bruce Willis. Like I think Bruce Willis would be one of the easier ones to maybe change certain films of Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
and vice versa. But I don't think they're full thing.
Well,
So I couldn't see him
can you see Tom Cruise doing Die Hard?
because you see Tom Cruise doing like what is this? Bruce Willis the singing stuff, the soundtrack stuff. What is it? The
Under
soundtrack
the
stuff
boardwalk and
like.
stuff. Wow.
Yeah, like not even under Borg. His music career.
Yeah, yeah. With
Like,
the
yeah,
he started doing stuff with the Commodores and all sorts of stuff. I think.
yeah.
Um,
I think I have one of his vinyls inside
I have
actually.
a massive temptation in me to try and do a Tom Cruise impression doing lines from Die Hard, and I know it could end the channel, but I'm going to be like,
Oh, can I just go further into the comments before we go? I'll let you
exactly.
prepare yourself. Val Kilmer and Ethan Hawke. Ooh.
Oh, interesting. That's a weird one, but it's an interesting one
It
because that
is.
means Ethan Hawke would be Batman at one point, and if you bulk up Ethan
Ooh.
Hawke, I can't see him doing Kiss Kiss Bang Bang any justice. Ethan Hawke doesn't have the levity in his soul, I don't think, to be Val Kilmer in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Could you see Val Kilmer being Midnight in Magnificent Seven?
Mm,
Robichaud Midnight.
I know, yeah,
Or Midnight Robichaud.
yeah. I think the one just after it maybe makes more sense because then it's Christian Slater and Ethan Hawke. Yeah, but Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke would have had to hype up his fourth wall breaking kind of. Well, I'm just really cool and you know, cool because
Christian Slater.
that was Christian Slater for the whole first half of his career. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. I was the right age. I wanted to be Christian Slater's best mate.
I haven't seen Christian Slater in like anything recently. Wherever he is,
It's been a minute. It's
because
been a little while.
Broken Arrow with John Travolta is like I don't know what it is. Every time that's on, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Like, I know it's not good, but Christian Slater's in it. There's heavy. What is it?
Heavy rain.
Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Heavy Rain with Gordon Freeman in it as like one of the main bad guys.
Yeah.
That's an interesting film
Yeah.
with Christian Slater in it.
Was it dark rain, heavy rain, something like that? Yeah,
It's
I know the one, and people are like floating around in boats and streets. The water that's only
it's
4 foot deep. Um, you know what?
so okay.
Future episode, we're gonna rewatch that together. Actually,
So Tom Cruise impression.
oh no, I haven't. Okay. Um, no, I'm not going to do it. Yippee-ki-yay. Motherfucker. Yeah, he gets too intense at the wrong times. That's my thing with Tom Cruise. I'm backing out of that. I should never have mentioned it because I didn't have it in my arsenal. I checked, it wasn't there.
I couldn't see. My thing is, I couldn't see Bruce Willis doing Oblivion. It's one of my favorite scenes. Is him fixing the droid, in the baseball field. It's one of my favorites. Like, I'm not an overly big fan of Tom Cruise. I think he's a very good actor and stuff like that. But that is one of my most favorite scenes in cinema. And I don't think Bruce Willis could have pulled it off as well as Tom Cruise. You know,
Interesting.
I don't know what it is.
And also back to 12 Monkeys, you were talking about somebody not being able to do Brad Pitt's role. Doing Bruce Willis's role in 12 Monkeys, I don't think Tom Cruise would have necessarily fit either.
That's true.
Yeah. The last comment that we currently have, by the way, the comments are fantastic. Thank you all. You're the most awesome people in the world.
They're keeping us like absolutely going.
They
like.
keeping us away from the terrible
As in,
questions
like,
that we're about to ask each other too. Kick-Ass as a TV series. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Mandalorian as a movie. I would miss it in its expanse. I think it works as a TV show, but you know what? If you want to take the Han Solo movie and give me a Mandalorian feature length instead, I'll take that history. That would not be a darker timeline necessarily.
Ooh. I didn't get those comments. That's interesting. But yeah, that would be cool. Chris, yeah.
Oh, did it blank
Kick-Ass
out
would be
the
interesting.
Kick-Ass as a TV series? It's from MGTV. Ethan there. That's
No, I just didn't get it.
Oh, okay. I am going to throw up. I think it's yours now. Is it one of yours for me?
Yours was the two.
Oh no, you just swapped the
actors.
things. So yeah. Oh no, I've got an easy one for you now. Then up she comes.
Wait.
It's quite simply written as subs or dubs, Paul. So the trick is here though. It's got to be for all foreign language films ever. Would it be only subtitle or only dubbed? And I remember before everybody's like, I prefer reading subtitles and stuff. Remember, this is going to apply to all the old cheesy, chopsocky, terrible overdubs that people did of karate films too.
Yeah.
So do you want subtitles for everything that was ever foreign language, or dubs for everything that's ever foreign language? And that applies to other countries when they're listening to English too. You've got 22 seconds.
I'm not going to go highbrow on it, like in the sense of kind of like as in like, oh, subtitles are better. It's more the fact is that if I hate watching dubs in the sense that I hate seeing the words not sync up with people's mouths. I hate it, and it pulls me completely out of the series, out of any kind of like environment. But weirdly enough, because I watch a lot of anime, subtitles have just been delved into part of a series, so they never pull me out. They're just part of the whole thing, you know. But yeah, dub ruins it for me in the sense I can't stand seeing the sync up.
I'm with you. It's subtitles all the way for me, and it's not just for the highbrow reason. So I would be happy to forgo the bad dubs that have been funny over the years and just have everything subtitled. And I stand by the statement that anything that was only made better by the hilarity of out of sync dubbing probably will still be hilarious if you're reading what they're actually saying in subtitles, because it was probably a bad script. Yeah, so that was my one to throw in an easy short one. You're on to it's number 5 years, is it?
Yes.
Okay, read it for me, and I will try and remember to hit the countdown clock. People, it's a visual effect at this stage because it's being completely ignored. So, Paul, what's the question?
If you could live in one movie world, which one would you be?
If I could live in one movie world, like the universe that it inhabits. So can I pick like Earth, but Earth of a movie, sort of thing?
Yeah. So like if you were to choose, like, you know, I'd live in the Mad Max universe. You would live in a post-apocalyptic world where, which is Mel Gibson is somewhere around the place.
Well then, Cannonball Run. I want to live in a world where Burt Reynolds and Lamborghinis are just completely fine, acceptable, and speeding is not going to ever hurt anybody. So that I can go and hang out with those people and have hijinks. Hopefully in a better way, maybe in a more modern and inclusive and less sexist way. What else? What would be a good choice though? Off-world. What would be a good?
Like off-world, like as in another planet or
Yeah,
something like that.
on a fictional planet. I wouldn't mind the Who Framed Roger Rabbit world where there's a Toontown and you can go and like head into an animated neighborhood. I think just the experience and the possibilities would be endless. I already buy crap I don't need from Amazon. Why not have it all be made by Acme?
True.
There's my terrible answers. Paul, that was a really good question, and it kind of fried my brain because I know I'm going to think of one in a minute.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Yeah, see, like
It's a good
if
question.
it could be any kind of, if it was any kind of movie or anything like that, you could easily just be like Marvel, because you'd think that you would be one of those people who'd get superpowers, and not one of those people who'd be screaming and shouting and trying to get away from everybody.
Yeah.
But and if you were to choose not Earth and you wanted to choose another planet,
Yeah.
like I'm kind of like, weirdly enough, John Carter's like,
Mars?
the Mars one. Yeah, because you're like, as a human, you're like superhuman already, and you're also a weird, because you're not a human part of them.
Yeah.
So you could be like an outsider, and you could also just become an absolute warlord and just destroy them all.
Well, here's his red saber, folks. Note to everybody out there: hit like, share, and subscribe, or else we may try and take over the world. Hey, that is a good one actually. You thought that through. All I ended up doing was wanting to be allowed to drive Trans Ams and have really awesome mustaches. I was about to say bad mustaches, but no, that was Bert's lip crawler was awesome, folks. Don't pick on it.
A weird one would be to live in downsizing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh god. The one thing I would have delivered would be like just one massive like potato chip or crisp or something. So like you've got your
Eat it
snacks for the rest of
years.
your life. You're just out with an axe going, yep, I've just made my chips for the movie tonight. What's in the comments before I throw up the next one? Dubs, who wants to read and watching a movie? I hear you, but you know what? I've just spent so long reading subtitles and being around subtitles in previous day job and stuff. Dubs just, they're like Paul, they pull me out of it because I'm too busy going, that lip sync is terrible.
But
But no,
that's
you
my
know,
only problem with them.
yeah, but I hear the opinion, and I'm very grateful for it because too many people are like, ugh, dubbing is just terrible. Like you say, there's a real ponciness to it, which I think is complete BS.
Yeah, like to not get me wrong, I'm not going to be able to binge watch a lot more, like, a lot of the shows that I would love to binge watch, because reading subtitles does take the toll.
Oh yeah, fatigue.
Like, so like, yeah, like I'm not going to be able to binge watch as much as I want, but like, I think I just get angry at like this sync, kind of thing. So,
Well, Paul, I've got a couple left that I want to hit you with because I know there's one more from you as well. I'm throwing it up right now, and I'm going to read it as fast as I can.
what, do you want me to read it?
And again, they're short ones. No, I've thrown up one from me. So,
Okay.
if only one had ever made movies, who do you choose? So, if only one of these people had ever gone into the business, do you choose Spielberg or Lucas? And remember, it seems like an easy answer till you consider how much of an effect Lucas had on Spielberg and vice versa. So, you're removing either Steven Spielberg or George Lucas from the fray here, or you're picking one of them to remain, I should say. And countdown starts now. 58.
How much did George Lucas have on? Because the only one the one that I'm really overly affected by is probably like Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Like, I know Indiana Jones has elements of George Lucas in it, but prior to Crystal Skull. But Crystal Skull really seemed to be George Lucas kind of going too far into it. This, like, if you were to choose
if you get rid of Lucas, you get rid of Star Wars. That's it. Star Wars doesn't exist anymore.
See, this is the thing.
Is it
Yeah,
big
but
enough?
see, this is because this is the thing. If you get rid of George Lucas, you get rid of Star Wars, which is like 9 films, a whole bunch of TV series, and like some great merchandise
And
stuff.
a sci-fi space craze. You may not get all of the rest as well.
it did really help into the sci-fi kind of like space opera stuff. But if you get rid of Spielberg, you're getting rid of like Goonies and E.T., like, Pleasant Encounters of the Third Kind, Cocoon. Like,
Yep.
there's so many films and stuff like that. And also, if you get rid of Spielberg, more than likely you're getting rid of J.J. Abrams and a bunch of others. Whereas I don't think I'm going Spielberg. It's quite easy for me.
Yeah.
But it would Star Wars would be a heavy toll on my life.
Yeah.
In the disappearance.
I wrote this down on a sheet of paper, sheets of notes here, people, before transferring it over, and I was like, that's too easy. Everybody's going to keep Spielberg. Nobody's picking George Lucas over him. But I thought, you know what? If I make the argument, if you remove Star Wars, you may never get a Firefly. You may never get all of the other things that really have stemmed from it. Whereas if you remove Spielberg, you lose a lot of really good movies. But there are still a lot of people making those type of movies that would have inspired others. But I still absolutely maintain, Paul, your choice is 100% right. You definitely keep Steven Spielberg. And you take your chances that somebody else would have come along and space opera this right up the wazoo.
Yeah, you'd hope one of the other ones would, because like sci-fi was more of a joke, but not joke, but like seen as a lesser kind of
It's true.
form of thing. I don't know. Maybe Spielberg could just make Star Wars.
Oh, can you imagine that? He would never have got the shark to work. What have we got in the comments? It's got to be Spielberg. You're damn right, Nora. It does. We need that shark in our lives. We certainly do. Although it could have been a shark in space. It certainly could. Way ahead of everything that I just said. So thank you, Nora. What's
Yeah, see this.
So Spielberg is the reason Lucas became a director. Yeah.
Like George innovated the movie industry multiple times. However, Spielberg has directly directed more movies. I'm going Spielberg. Yeah, see, this is like I understand. Yeah, like George, you'd lose like Lucas, or like Light and Art, or what is it?
Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah, so you'd lose quite an innovative like production, or like pre-production house kind of thing of graphics and stuff like that, which is true. Like, and as you said, you'd probably lose a lot of the fandom for space opera kind of stuff. You'd hope that someone come across and stuff like that. But my thing is that George, like Spielberg, like also helped like Tom Hanks get into directing and stuff like that. There's several TV shows that he's produced that you might not have gotten, like Band of Brothers and stuff like that. So
it is an easy one, but see, it wasn't a terrible question because it generated a little bit of doubt.
It did, yeah.
So now I'm going to go on to your sixth and final, if you wouldn't mind reading it for me. I've just pulled it up on screen.
This is a little bit of an easy one, but I thought it would be fun for you.
I've just looked over at it. You can read it though.
Which Batmobile would you pick if you had to use it for the rest of your life?
Oh, for everybody out there, the Batmobile options are like the original kind of Lincoln Futura concept car, the Adam West Batmobile.
Yeah.
Which is actually a really good choice because it's quite roadworthy. It looks like it may have some luggage space. It definitely would have some luggage space. It's parkable. Okay, it's an old 60 style, long tail car. The tumbler
It also doesn't have a roof.
It doesn't have a roof though. That is, it's constantly open top. The
tumbler
I wouldn't be able to choose in any real world sense because you're not driving down most roads in it. So
this is open to the animated world as well.
Okay,
it's any Batmobile.
Well, the Batman animated series, and it's only beautiful. It's Art Deco. Batmobile is the most beautiful, but it's also like 18 feet long to park.
Yeah, you got to include it though.
Can't be doing it. So it brings it down to the Ben Affleck Batmobile or the kind of original Batmobile from the 1989, the original movie Batmobile.
No, so it's also, you've also got the one from which is Poison Ivy, Batman and Robin, and also Batman Forever. They're two different types.
You've seen those monstrosities though that were neon. Like we don't call fishgill neon cars Batmobiles in this house, Paul. We respect the legend of the Batmobile.
I thought it would include this. Yes. You also have Batman Beyond as well.
Well, that's true. which again more practical. I think the Batmobile,
It's just
isn't
a
it?
flying. It's a flying saucer.
Yeah,
Like,
like you could do a lot with that. You know what? I'm gonna choose the. So if it's between Michael Keaton's Batmobile and Ben Affleck's Batmobile, which was more of a Dune buggy style thing, I think you'd have more fun in the Ben Affleck one. But I'm gonna go with the Michael Keaton '89 Batman because it will have storage. It is the shortest of the non-massively wide tumbler options here. I think it's the one you could actually drive somewhere in some sort of reasonable sense to live with. So
yeah.
you
See,
can
this
make it to
is
the shops, you know.
yeah. See, this is the because I didn't want to just make it. Yeah, you can just pick any. Yeah, it's just what's your favorite Batmobile? It's like no, you have to think about it because yeah,
Yeah,
you can't use any other cars. You
yeah.
have to use.
No, it's between that for practicality. It's between that and the original Adam West machine, which is beautiful. But as you say, open top all the time. That's just not going to work in Ireland. If anybody hasn't been to Ireland, it's raining now, and if it's not, it will be in a second. So yeah, not so much. That's a great question. Thank you so much.
I'm choosing the original animated series one because I want to be that dickhead.
So you want to be the guy parked beside a bus, but be longer than the bus and just look
Yeah,
cool as all hell.
yeah. I want to be parked beside the bus, but in no way near the driver of the bus. I want to be at the person who's sitting at the back of the bus, kind of like, or like, yeah, this is my car. It's
Yeah.
a V300.
Yeah, the world's longest engine. I absolutely yeah. You know what? If I could redesign roads, it would be the one I'd choose because it's the answer to the other question, best Batmobile. But yeah, to live with it. You know what, Paul? I will always pick you up in mine. We can use mine for the shopping and yours for looking cool. um,
We can pick up no one in the other Batmobile because there's
that's
only
true.
two seats.
That's true. And because it's
Um,
yours, I'm automatically your Robin at that point. So you're winning on both fronts. Both fronts. It's funny. My last question, Paul, is also aimed at you. Sorry, did you want to? Let's go to other people.
yeah, just which Ethan also said, although Pixar was a company George Lucas helped create, so he could also lose that. That is true. We would lose. There's a possibility. We would have to. We should do a hypothetical on this.
Mm,
Like two
yeah,
directors, if one of them disappears and stuff like that, you could.
we can draw out their interlinking connections and overlaps and all the tendrils they have in the history of the movie industry. And those two might be two really good ones to pick because they cross over so
Yeah.
much.
And
Um,
then
yeah,
I
go
want
for
the
it.
Ben Affleck one because I have it has big guns. Yeah, I get it. There's a really good because I think it's the Michael Keaton one that has the armor one as well because they tried to make it as close to the animated one,
Yeah. So it
like where
does the
the comic one.
covering itself up with armor plating as
Mm,
its lock, as its like safety
yeah,
mechanism. Yeah, you know
that's a
what?
pretty
Of
cool
the
one.
ones that look the most fun, because like I think the Tumbler is cool, and I think it's great that it's a real, actual, live working car. Good job, Toyota. I think they were involved. But the Ben Affleck one is actually looks like the most fun. As somebody who loves driving, the Ben Affleck one, if you said you can have any one of them as a toy and never claim to be Batman while driving it or something, I'd be like, I'll take it. It's the most fun vehicle that I could definitely go out and find uses for. All I would need is
Yeah,
maybe an empty desert and some sand dunes, and I'd be smiling all day long.
yeah.
Um,
Just head to Salt Lake City or something.
exactly. Take a weekend in Vegas and then head out to the dunes. I am going to return the favor, Paul, because my last question is: you've all the money in the world. What location do you use for your horror movie? As the horror dude between the two of us, you can choose any location, and I mean you can be as specific as you want. So you can be like, I want to have it in, the White House. Where do you choose as your? Because horror movies are very much driven. Good horror movies are helped along by their location and their setting. So you can choose one of the classic towns. It can be Derry. It can be wherever. Um,
Yeah.
but go for it. So 60 seconds,
So we're thinking out. See, this is the
anywhere you want, with anything in it you want
yeah.
that
See, this is the
exists.
yeah. I think horror movies. I think horror movies are specific in the like. I like horror movies who take the normal kind of approach. I think like Paranormal Activities. Like, although I'm not a big fan of kind of the kind of like shaky cam or the kind of like CCTV pre-recorded kind of stuff. choosing just the bedroom, like literally the bedroom and some of the house stuff, is like a genius thing because people feel the safest in those areas. Kind of thing. Like
That's
I
true.
understand, like in slasher films and stuff like that, there's like scenes in a bedroom, where they get killed or something like that, or ghosts and stuff like that. But like specifically having this entirely in a bedroom where it's a normal kind of setting and stuff like that, it's like one of the best things. Now this is about me, so I would choose your bedroom.
Hey,
No, um,
I like that
yeah,
answer. So you would basically construct all the money in the world. You'd go and scout out the perfect bedroom to have something be really sweet and safe, but also have enough opportunities for creepiness. So maybe like an ottoman at the end of the bed, so that can open and have someone in it. Right amount of wardrobes. Window is the right kind of sash type that can go up and down for people climbing in and out.
yeah, I guess you try to make it as generic as possible. Like the other one I choose, so let's go to like I guess less of my horror movie side is a cinema.
That's a good location.
You know,
Ooh,
like and not like as run down. Those kind of classic ones, I'm sure that where you grew up there was like a classic kind of like one, and the same as mine, and also like in Dublin, in Ireland where we're from, the Stella. It's kind
oh
of one
yeah,
of those kind of classic ones. Something like that is also a nice touch to kind of touch back to old horror, but then have maybe a newer twist to it. You
very
know,
nice. Oh, great choices, as I knew there would be. I had to throw in something, Paul, that I thought might be just right up your street, because I know you've probably written two or three horror movies in your head by now. Um, you know what, my answer for that's pretty weird and simple. I asked myself this question, and the first word that jumped out of my brain, and then my brain went, "Don't say that," and then my mouth went, "I'm gonna," is the Vatican. I think the Vatican would be a great place for a horror movie to be set because it's weird, it's creepy. I've been there, not a big fan of it, but it is just odd enough that that's a great location with some pretty awesomely weird backdrops, but also a lot of odd layout that you could do slasher movie, you could do ghost movie, you could do just odd psychological horror. In some ways, I think I'm describing the Vatican when I say odd psychological horror. Don't hate me, folks.
I get you. Yeah, like I think kind of because it's a city built upon us, like it's a city built upon a city built upon a city built upon a city kind of
Yeah,
thing. I think it has that kind of crazy architecture that just you can't get it again because it tried to
and
keep so much
and for the
and
uber
keep
religious out
building.
there, don't judge me harshly here. I'm talking about the actual place. If you ever go there, it has a weird feeling, and it is so gaudy and so odd in so many ways that it just feels a bit wrong. So horror movie. There you go. I have a few bonus ones in the bag, but I think we should head to the comments instead. Uh,
Um,
what have we
the
got?
North Pole. The North Pole would be a great place to film a horror movie. You could get Santa to come in and save the day and everything. Then you have an Xmas horror movie.
That's a really
Yeah,
good answer, man. Fair play. That actually made me smile. Genuine smile. That wasn't just a hee hee hee. That's a yeah. That's great. Ah,
I was thinking of weirdly enough though, I was thinking of Rise of the Guardians, that movie with like Santa Claus and all the kind of
yes.
season things. I was thinking of another like Rise of the Guardians 2 trip to the moon because there's the man on the moon kind of thing and he's meant to
Oh,
be like really powerful and I thought it'd be really cool to see the rise of the Guardians going to save essentially the man who chooses or the thing that chooses the Guardians.
wow.
That'd be an interesting plot.
That is an interesting one. What's the last comment here is obviously the horror movie in the North Pole would be set on a scientific mission where everyone disappears. Well, that's what happens every movie that somebody goes to the North Pole. Either ice cracks and eats a lot of them, or they fall into it, or they all magically or mystically, I should say, mysteriously disappear. Um, Bonus quick one, not even going to put up the counter for this. Best movie set in an icy wasteland or icy place adjacent.
Like I, ooh,
We're both thinking the thing, I know.
yeah, I'm gonna try to avoid that.
Me too.
So icy wasteland.
Or even just somewhere that's very iced. Because there's two in my head, and I think you're going to pick one of them. That's why I had to think of two.
And ice. Ooh.
I'm going to say, I'll give you a second to think.
Yeah, go for
Let
it.
the right one in, which is basically very cold apartment complex. So outside it, very snowy. which I think they cleverly did, so that blood will show up against white.
30 Days of Night.
That's the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just with a vampire kind of link to it. But like the Battle of Hoth in Star Wars, you know, kind of that set is quite nice. Just the tunnels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But genuine answer is obviously the thing. So yeah, it's just the obvious answer. Paul, I think we've gone over, and we can't go back now because I haven't got my bloody time powers because you're too stingy and won't actually give them to me. So do you want to know my spare bonus ones, and we'll do them really, really quick because there's only a couple and I don't think they were very good.
Just a thing. MJ said that Rise of the Guardians lost like 175 million and nearly forged DreamWorks out of business. I know. Like I literally just go through movies and just go, that would be a good sequel kind of thing. Just story wise. I know that some of the films of like I think of are just like, oh, they are destructive. like a Jupiter Ascending 2, you know.
Ooh, which I still haven't watched Jupiter Ascending, and I promised you twice last year I would get to it. I still haven't. I will eventually.
Like Redmayne just needs a volume control.
Oh yeah, bro.
Just needs volume control, Red.
Do you know the weird thing is that comment about Rise of the Guardians only just came through for me on this side. I'm experiencing weird delays, so sorry folks if I'm talking over Paul or anything. I'm going to throw these last three at you really, really quickly. Let's see, I've got to pull them up to read them. You have to play all the parts in a movie. Which movie do you choose? That's kind of that, you know, Eddie Murphy playing 10 parts, or people who do that. If somebody said, right, you're going to have to play all the parts in a movie, what would you choose? Because I think I'd be cheeky and straight away. Sorry, which? Which?
Oh, I would choose Firefly.
Oh,
yeah, I think we're breaking up here.
Yeah, I think we are actually. So we better get out of this.
I would choose Firefly.
Oh, we're definitely experiencing lag. So I am going to just shout the last two really quickly because I promised. Realism or suspension of disbelief, and then what's your favorite movie to only watch half of? Personally, the kind of suspended realism or suspension of disbelief I'd put up with. Do spaceships make noise in movies? Which do you care more about when it comes to that? Bit of realism or just letting it go?
Just letting it go.
Yeah, me too. Paul, I think we better wrap up because this delay is getting pretty bad.
It's getting pretty bad.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody who hopefully has still been hearing us. I'd like to thank you all for your... I'll switch this back to a proper screen. I'd like to thank you all for your wonderful interaction. Anybody who's watching this in the future, I'm time travel and I'll be there right beside you. Leave comments. Let us know how you would have answered, and throw in more questions. If you found this fun, we might do another one. I think I would love to do it based on questions submitted by the kind folk out there in the real world. So yeah, like, subscribe, share, comment, make toast, whatever. Paul, walk us home.
So thank you very much. As I said, if you have any questions that you guys want to send us to the same things, we'd love to do another one, as Patrick said. But like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, share us out to some of your friends and stuff like that. We'd love to get out more and show ourselves more to a wider YouTube kind of area, because we're weird.
Yeah.
And we just want more eyes.
Help us tickle the analytics and expose ourselves. That sounded good. I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
And we've been Heroes Out. And Paul, we're going to talk over the final intro while I find the end stream button.
See you later, guys.